All eyes will be on the state of Nebraska next week, where the Keystone XL pipeline faces another big hurdle. Nebraska is the final state where TransCanada has yet to acquire the necessary permits to complete this $8 billion project that connects the tar sands oil in Alberta, Canada, to the U.S. refineries along the Texas Gulf Coast. And although President Trump has promised to call Nebraska to help push for that permit, that decision rests with the Nebraska Public Service Commission, who will wade into the Keystone equation next Wednesday. So with that backdrop, tonight we're on special assignment along the Keystone Trail in eastern Montana. Circle, Montana. Population around 600 people. When, and perhaps if, the Keystone XL gets the green light, Circle will become Pipeline Central, complete with a nearby man camp to house up to 600 workers. Certainly, that would be a shock to the system of this sleepy Montana town, but a welcome change for the bottom line.
You know, we are a small population county. We're a low tax base. It's all agriculture based. So this would be a great help for our county, our school system. Anywhere you look, there's a need for some funds.
The Keystone route across Montana spans 252 miles. It crosses 6 counties, beginning in Phillips County up north to Fallon County to the southeast, with Valley, Macomb, Dawson, and Prairie in between. The counties and the state would collect millions in taxes from the Keystone, totaling nearly $80 million in yearly property tax revenue. And also in the mix, 3 river crossings. The pipeline would be buried underneath the Missouri, the Milk, and the Yellowstone.
Even though there are probably some people opposed to the Keystone pipeline, I would say that a vast majority of them realize it's a part of how we get oil to market, and part of the bloodstream of how people have jobs here in eastern Montana.
Jerry Jemison has been Glendive mayor going on 16 years, 4 terms. As that commercial says, he's seen a thing or two.
People know that pipelines are part of the lifeblood down here in this part of the area. And even though there's unfortunate instances such as the Bridger pipeline break, we know that that is still the safest way to transport crude oil and gas and things like that to market and from market.
And it's not just counties that stand to benefit. Electric co-ops would also have a new major customer.
Everybody knows how agriculture has been over the past couple years, you know, the kind of a downturn. So a good commercial load like the Keystone pipeline would really help stabilize the electric rates for our local electric co-op, and it would benefit all of the members.
It's here in Baker, Montana, where an on-ramp to the Keystone has been promised to add up to 100,000 barrels of Bakken oil a day. But town officials say they've heard nothing from TransCanada recently about that key component.
That is still part of the project, and that's driven by producer demand in the Bakken. The way Keystone traverses through Montana, if the facilities are needed, they will be constructed to transport Bakken oil.
Dina Hoff, who ranches along the Yellowstone River west of Glendive, doesn't believe a word of it.
If the counties really think they're going to get a lot of money from this pipeline, my guess is they'll depreciate it off as fast as they can, and they're going to get almost nothing.
Hoff is the lead plaintiff in a lawsuit filed against the Keystone XL, filed just a week after President Trump approved the project. That lawsuit by the Northern Plains Resource Council and the Sierra Club claims the environmental review for the pipeline is outdated and incomplete.
They still do not have an emergency plan. Millions of people said, we do not want this pipeline. It's not in the national interest. It's a danger to our water and to our public health. And with one stroke of a pen, it's all wiped out.
That emergency plan would likely involve responding to pipeline leaks, like the one back in January of 2015, just around the bend from Hoff's property. That's when the Bridger pipeline dumped 31,000 gallons of crude into the Yellowstone, contaminating Glendive's water supply.
Municipalities get their water out of them. People get their irrigation water out of them. It's important for recreation. It's important for wildlife. It's important for biodiversity. It's the most insane idea I can think of, to be putting huge pipelines under major rivers that have such economic and ecological importance.
Well, I can tell you there are already signs of activity along the Keystone Trail in Macomb County, for instance. Helicopter crews at work this spring inspecting and surveying the pipeline route. And down in Baker, where another man camp is planned, Mayor Jody Pratt told me that she's been told by TransCanada to expect construction to begin there possibly next year, definitely in 2019, with the crew starting at the Canadian border and then working their way all the way towards Baker in 75-mile segments. All dependent, of course, that if TransCanada can succeed in getting that final permit in Nebraska. We will, of course, keep you posted.